Morning, Aaron. How did you sleep?
I'm optimistic as F Cappy.
You have a lovely shirt, I gotta say.
Have I told you about dealing with American incompetency and Hawaiian shirts?
Not in that specific order, no.
Name one country that should be better at Hawaiian shirts than the United States. Like we annexed Hawaii during the Spanish American War, I believe, in 1898. Maybe that was the Philippines.
Yeah, maybe the
But
Philippines or Vietnam because of the nice beaches and the sea, but
Hawaiian shirts, Hawaii, right?
yeah.
And in the past, I got to look at my history of Hawaii. At least 100 years, I'm going to guess. Hawaii has at least been a territory of the United States. Hawaiian shirts, Magnum PI, we got it. So you say, oh, that's a really nice Hawaiian shirt. You know who the premier seller of Hawaiian shirts are now in all of these United States of America?
Probably some Chinese store.
Walmart.
Really?
You know why Walmart is the premier seller of Hawaiian shirts?
Because most Hawaiian shirts come in double XL?
No, because they have them.
Oh.
So I want to get some bowling shirts of some real, I'm at the land of Canaan. I'm here. I've arrived, right?
You're going to go full
glide
Charlie
path.
Sheen?
Full
Tiger
Charlie
blood,
Sheen,
winning.
Just Magnum PI. Oh, gee, hey guys, how you Higgins? That kind of thing. I'm happy middle-aged man. And I wanted to splurge, not like Modern Life John does, on penis extender equipment like Louis Vuitton handbags and jock straps and all those other kind of things.
And sports bras.
Right. I just want some really sharp Hawaiian shirts. I want some really cool bowling shirts. So I found some poker bowling shirts. I found some bowling shirts with those old school pinup models on them. I found some just nice, classy, pastel blue 50s style shirts, and I can't find the right size on the premier website, Ryuria.com. They're the premier Hawaiian bowling shirt place. So I put in I can't find anything smaller than a medium. So I'll go with a medium. I got the favorite shirt to see if it's going to work. Straight white stripes, black background, and then hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades. Right? I'm like, that's a sharp shirt. So I go to pick it up. Comes in the mail. Postage due. And so whoever either they or somebody else, I said, why is postage due? They say they're using fraudulent credit cards or they're scamming the postal service.
What?
So I got to pay my $5 or whatever for a postage to get a shirt. The shirt is made of the crappiest, shittiest quality. Oh. It's like flag material. If you've ever had a flag, and it's like, and I'm not joking, the best purveyor of Hawaiian shirts in the United States is Walmart for two simple reasons. They have them. Well, three. They have them. They don't screw you over, or the U.S. Postal Service, which is the U.S. taxpayer, and they're not made of flag material. And Jesus. So I was so let down because the patterns and the pictures all look great, and you get this shirt, it's utter garbage. And so now, and Walmart only has, I think, 5 designs of Hawaiian shirts, this being one of them. So now my expected standard of living, my expected happiness has been whacked down. No, I'm being deadly serious because
I know the feel. Yeah. I have this with H&M. I love their Henleys. I just do. But for a very stupid reason, which is a way too long story, my gray Henley shirt got its sleeve cut off. And I was like, you know what? I'll just go back to H&M and I'll buy a new long sleeve Henley t-shirt. Well, long sleeve shirt. Apologies. They just don't have them anymore. No. Their entire assortment of shirts has been changed to whatever metrosexual crap it is now. Some Zoomer cultish shit where it's like, can't I just have my normal slim fit Henley shirt?
No, you can't.
No, you can't have anything fucking nice anymore.
Yep.
You want your bowling shirts? I want my Henley shirts. Pretty optimistic start, by the way.
And I'm not joking. I'm really not joking.
Neither am I.
I have reasonable expectations of my future and what I could expect out of the United States economy. It's not crazy. I'm not expecting a Ferrari. I'm not expecting $10,000 shirts. I'm expecting a freaking Hawaiian shirt, and you can't even get it now without some kind of fuckery going on
You know
where it's like,
why?
oh, I'll give you another one. I don't know if this is even popular or known in Europe. Do you guys have Red Wing working boots? Red Wing
We
shoes.
have
You ever hear of Red Wing shoes?
never heard of
Okay,
those
all right. Well, they're
specifically.
very, very high quality. And an older buddy of mine who worked in the railroad, he works union. And part of their contract was they got a new pair of Red Wing working boots every year. So he gave me his used ones.
Oh,
And
they look nice.
dude, and well, those pairs were nice. They're soft, they're sturdy, they're waterproof, they're everything, and they set you back good maybe $250. These are no joke boots. So as I got older and things got stable, I got a little bit of money. I'm like, I want myself a pair of Red Wing working boots because I can work in the field. They're safe, they're sturdy, and if they're black, they're also fashionable. And I can ride my motorcycle with them. So I find these Red Wing boots, they're black. They look sturdy, they're even stylish. I'm like, I'm gonna get these, and I put them on. I'm like, why do these feel no different than not the Vault? What's the other working boot? Caterpillar boots. Like, why do these feel no different? You know why? Because now Red Wing Shoes has offered a lower model or a cheaper model where guess where the shoes are made?
China.
So I'm like, well, why didn't I just go get a pair of Caterpillar boots?
Because you're you, and you don't deserve nice things.
Right.
Speaking of stylish, John Fitch
nice
and Ryan are here.
Ryan Stone. Oh my God, that's.
Speaking of King of Hawaiian shirts,
what's up, guys?
I want to hear you guys talk. I don't need you to fluff me.
We're talking about how Jack said I had a really nice Hawaiian shirt, and I explained.
Shouldn't have said that.
What?
No.
Anyway,
facial hair today.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh, that's a nice Hawaiian shirt." And I explained the unacceptable lengths I had to go to get just a decent shirt, and how you can't order nice Hawaiian shirts anymore, and how it is no joke that going through such chaos, turbulence, and cost in terms of time and search costs, our expectations of a standard of living in the future are going to be a lot less than what you were hoping for, because you should think you should be able to get a shirt on the internet and not have it mailed postage due from the premier purveyor of Hawaiian shirts. But that's exactly what happened. And so ranging No, it's kind of like Ryukuru or something like that. Sounds a Japanese sounding name, but it doesn't matter. Hawaiian shirts, Red Wing boots, decent service at the restaurant. It's over. And so it's any kind of material thing, not even high end, just basic. I gotta go, like today I gotta go to Menards, and I know to take the products out of the box to make sure the product I have is there, and to bring the corresponding nut and bolt to make sure they work. You have to babysit producers and sellers today, simply so you don't waste an hour a day going back, exchanging things and stuff like that. So you really have to babysit everybody out there when you're going to go and conduct any sort of commerce. And so now I'm trying to.
That's funny. I thought I was the only guy who did that. Case in point, when I go to like Starbucks or just go out for a burger, I get an iced coffee. Mm-hmm. Not because I like it, but because it's the simplest order that they won't screw up. If you start getting one of the slushy fraps, like, they forgot this, they forgot that. Same thing, burgers. I get a hamburger. Why? Because you cannot fuck up a hamburger. You fuck up everything else. I don't know, that lowered expectations thing. I just kind of, what's the fuck it and roll,
Yeah. Even Sonic, which I don't think you guys have up in Canada, but it is primarily known as a ice cream treat and burger joint, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I pull into a Sonic here in Rapid City, and I just want a small chocolate shake. Huh?
Is it fine dining there?
No. You've been to a Sonic, haven't you, Fitch?
Yeah. We go to.
He's
Sonic.
making fun of your dirt hole home, Clary.
I can't be the only one who thought of a blue hedgehog here. Like,
I saw that's all I thought of too.
Anyway, I go to the Sonic after a long day working in the field, retaining walls, all that other stuff. I deserve myself a chocolate shake treat with the small M&Ms. They're going to be frozen and crunchy in the chocolate shake.
Good
I'm
shake.
looking at it. It's like 90 degrees, chocolate shake, crunchy, mini M&Ms. Can't get any better. Pull up. I'm sorry we're out of ice cream, and I just want to punch the bitch in her tits. Like, what?
Oh my God.
What?
I
He's
know.
kicking in the nuts.
Fuck. Why do you have an open sign? Why? What are you doing?
We don't have any food today.
I know the feel. I told you the story about the white chocolate macadamia biscuits. Best cookies in town. Oh, we don't have those anymore because they undersold. It's like, mother, there's one thing I cheat on. You don't fucking have it anymore.
And it's gonna come to the point we're all gonna be these. You guys think I'm the curmudgeonly old man? Ah ha ha! Look at Clary yelling at the clouds. Ah ha ha! You're heading the exact same way. You're heading the exact same spot because once you get out there and try to buy a Hawaiian shirt and get some ice cream, and we don't have ice cream at the ice cream store, you're gonna say, "Fuck it! I'm gonna go get some books by Marcus Aurelius. I'm gonna wear robes. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna meditate in my little monastery hut on top of the mountain." So you're all coming this way anyway.
I feel woefully underprepared because you
You're gonna
came
have
here
to
asking me to think of some
you're just gonna have
optimistic
to,
stuff.
Accept the fact that maybe you have to learn how to make your own ice cream.
Look,
I mean,
Daniel Boone. I ain't gonna go out and churn no milk.
That's you turn some milk,
Put
man.
shaved snow ice into the thing. Sonic
Fine.
has the
Yeah, I'm not
jurisdiction.
making my own avocado toast.
goddamn millennials.
Well, seriously, what's going to happen? Let's say we're all single guys. We don't have kids. We're going to have.
You're not
disposable-
single.
We don't have kids. All right.
I have
And I'm
kids.
not married, so I don't have no legal or financial liabilities here. I'm just saying, us childless guys, except Fitch, you do have kids. So, but
Yeah.
down the road, let's say we make the money, we get financially stable. What good is $100,000 salary going to do you when you can't buy no ice cream?
Dude, if I have $100,000 salary and the only trouble I have is ice cream, I could perhaps, not sure, maybe live with that.
I think you're missing I'm with Jack. I think you're missing the positive side of this. Like, dude,
Yes.
we used to have unlimited global options where I can buy something from China and it arrives tomorrow.
Right.
Now that's going away, whether it's temporarily or permanent, that's fine. But once your choices start to reduce, what you actually want starts to become way more clear. And I think, do you remember that? You guys remember this? Remember the Simpsons episode where they canceled Itchy and Scratchy?
Yes.
Canada just had that moment. Rogers, 20% of Canadians just lost all phone and internet access for 24 hours. And it was literally, the dog park was packed. And I was sitting there, and then 3 people opened me, and they're chatting about fucking nothing. And it was wonderful. And I'm starting to think, like, everybody's worried about this dystopian nightmare. I'm going, if Twitter shut down and I can't get a Hawaiian shirt, I'm going to start to see a lot more people, like, refocus on values that actually matter. Like, community, getting along together. Yeah, instead of a Hawaiian shirt, I'm going to have to wear some Canadian lumberjack shit. But you know what? I'll make it work. I'll have to get a hamburger instead of a Frappuccino. I'll make it work. What's that economic thing you did, Clary, where it's the price elasticity, where if I don't eat broccoli, I'll just go eat cheese instead, and it's a very easy switch?
Yeah, substitute good. Yeah.
Yeah, substitute goods.
Yeah.
I think this is just going to be a global case of substitute goods.
You are not wrong. You are right as always. They did a study where
With
they
my
did
fancy economics?
Well, no, philosophy. All economics is a philosophy with numbers attached. That's really all it is.
Cool.
But they did do a study where they had sauces, and I don't know if it was ketchup or mustard or just general condiments, but I think they had 4 condiments on the menu, and you could choose one of 4. But then they had one there was 30. And when they did the happiness survey or assessed happiness or whatever, the people, when they had 4, were happier than the ones that had 30 because people feared missing out. It took time. It took research and labor to try and figure out which of the condiments would make you happiest. And so there is empirical evidence to suggest you are correct that if you don't have an unlimited selection of choice from bowling shirts to frappuccinos, it will you make your decision quicker. And then, yeah, you're right. If you get off the internet and go and do it, all I'm saying is I've been fighting so long that I get to this one part that I can be a rich bitch from Wayzata, except with daddy's money, I got my own money. And now I get to, I get to splurge. Isn't it the Simpsons Gil? Isn't he? Oh, come on, man. He's like the lurk. Can't Gil get a little taste?
Come on, man.
That's right.
Come
I
on,
want to be.
man.
Come on, man. Can't be getting like. I want to see what it's like to be upper middle income. I want to see what it's like to be a girl who has daddy buy her convertible cabriolet. Just let me have a taste. Nope, we're out of ice cream. I'm like, fuck. Now
It's
here's right.
overrated,
You know,
man.
you should really be stoic and appreciate your poverty. It makes you.
Whoa,
If you only were in the Western world.
Calvin's dad, Pain builds character. It's Calvin's dad right here, Ryan Stone.
If you only were in the Western world where there were multiple places where you could buy ice cream.
Yeah,
If only.
I wanted
Jack's on it too.
money.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not even.
I'm on a roll
I know
today.
it's an ice cream metaphor, but Jack's right. It's not. You just can't get their ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, okay,
Ooh,
can
we're
I be,
all Cappy
Does
today.
Dunkin' Donuts serve ice cream? You can get ice cream there.
Probably.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, because they've combined with Baskin Robbins,
Baskin
31
Robbins.
flavors.
But do you feel me though? That's actually what a lot of collapse tards used to love to do. It's like, I don't want the thing that I said I wanted. I want it from there. I want this situation to go back to the way it was because that's when things were good and people were great and fuck you liberals. And it's just like,
Okay,
And
at no
I'm not
point
saying
did
you,
politi-
but there's a lot of
Okay.
people. There was no point where I told you to enjoy your poverty, but it didn't stop you from your fucking rant.
At no point did politics or socialists enter my thought process going to Sonic. It wasn't like, I'm going to have a chocolate shake and
it's all
fuck Hillary
connected.
Clinton at the same time.
I'm still thinking of the blue hedgehog, though. This is very funny.
Yeah.
See
What's the
Cappy
blue
go to
hedgehog?
Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where does
That's why
Sonic
the-
get their ice cream from? Do they make their own in situ or do they order it from somebody?
What, the ice cream?
Yeah, there's no way. Restaurants don't make their own shit anymore.
No,
They
well,
buy
they
frozen
don't.
stuff.
They don't churn it. They don't have cows there, and it's direct.
So who's
hookup
doing the
to-
churning then?
I,
Are the
I
churners out of
imagine some
business?
supplier like Cisco Foods, but I've seen. You could see in the back they got they got something mixing thing.
Oh.
It's some of the higher quality ice cream treats you can get. Sonic for fast food, but
Well, geez, once you put it that way, you didn't mention the churning thing. I think we should all just move to like Southeast Asia and just retire there. The
Yeah.
Philippines.
it
I-
is
I-
simpler. Yeah.
I draw the line at the Sonic
Find
ice cream.
yourself a tag
I
team,
mean,
girl,
if the
with a
West
sundress
can't
and a
provide
big
ice cream
hat.
anymore, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Are we expecting Old Man Rolo or Ben? Like, wasn't Ben going to show up or something like that?
Yeah, but he's going to be a little bit late. Rolo, I don't know. He keeps catching COVID these last couple of weeks, so he's been off the radar.
Boy, that boy, I gotta tell you something. I'm coming out to the Black Hills. Cool. Now, just so you guys know, okay, all you guys, let me so you don't pull a Rolo on this, all right? I have a house. There is a guest room. I
way.
also have a spare car. Please show up and save yourself the $3,000 it's going to cost you to rent a vehicle and get a hotel during busy season.
Wait, you guys, is that an American thing? Like, I'll come visit you, and then they go stay in a hotel. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. I visit my buddy in Halifax. He's always got a spare bedroom for me. Same thing here.
That's what I thought. I thought it was implied that when I said come out and visit me, that there's an extra bed with extra linens, and the GF knew. Oh man, Rolo's gonna feel bad when if he watches this. So she's gonna miss him because she's out doing family stuff, different state. So she rolled up 2 separate towels for Rolo and Mrs. Rolo. And like all these things and effects as she organized the bed, and it's like
shaped like guitars.
and then he, oh god, that would be great if you did. But like, oh yeah, so we got. I'm like, Rolo, give me your landing time so I know when to pick you up at the airport. Like, oh, we got a car rental, and I'm like, and just so you guys know, the car rentals at the Rapid City Airport, it's a monopoly, and I'm thinking it's $150 a day for a basic car.
Dude, that's
I'm
like
like-
Canadian prices.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm like, well, okay, well, here's my address. Come on out and go. Oh, well, where is this place? And I look it up. I'm like, that's in the middle of the mountains. Oh, well, that's where we're staying. I'm like, oh my god, just
Here, do you want to know how to get Rolo to show up? I'll give you a little tip.
okay.
You make a podcast or a convention or something where you have to like do some bullshit where you yell at women,
Yeah.
and then ask him to come down.
Okay.
Utilize all of his clout for your personal thing, and then refuse to pay him afterwards. He will be there like that.
So
Trust me.
I have to say we're gonna have a yell at women conference for whatever
and basically
reason.
take him for granted and all the work he's done.
And
To,
tell
like give you a
him-
couple extra bucks.
And tell him I don't pay and to show up anyway.
Well, no, you tell him you're gonna pay and you're good for it, but
Yeah.
then you don't. You treat paying him the way he treats returning your calls.
How does he know I'm not gonna pay him?
I don't know.
He
It's
doesn't.
just-
That's
yeah,
the
he's
trick.
running.
He
Yeah.
can sense it. So if you're saying if I had no intention of housing him, he would
He'd
sense
probably
that
be there.
through his Rolo-like powers, and he'd just show up at my doorstep with like a stick and that sack.
Yeah, I call it
attached
the
to like a
AGJ effect.
carpetbagger.
You'll love it.
Oh, Jesus, right.
Oh.
It's like reverse psychology.
I think
That's
so.
how
I
you do
really
it.
do.
How about this? Let me kind of get the show going because I got an appointment at noon.
Get
Weren't
Mark.
we
we're
going?
20 minutes in.
I know we're 20 minutes in. We haven't
This
even
is the
got
most
to-
positive shit ever. We
Wonderful.
haven't shat on women in almost half an hour. The guys
Woman,
are
am I
learning
right?
something about being happy with less.
And we learned what Sonic is, and it's not just a game.
No. It's
When to start
And I've
to
learned whoever
go
made
off
those
with
Hawaiian
some
shirts is
optimism about
dutifully
ice
going
cream.
out of business, thank God.
not this. This is Walmart. Go to Walmart to get your shirts. Don't go anywhere else. Walmart is the only place that has shirts.
Dude, that looks like the scene where Dumbo got drunk and he had
I
the
got,
flashback. That's like the shirt
It
version
does.
of that.
You're right. It does. Yeah. All right, let's bang out these real quick. We'll get to the show. Kevin C. $2. Cappy, heard Roll is coming to visit you in South Dakota. We don't know whether he is coming to South Dakota. Whether he ever sees me or not is another issue. But I'll keep you updated on the Rolo sightings.
He has to
was-
keep up tradition.
What's that?
He has to keep up tradition.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Like after I found out, I'm like, I may not see him. Like he'll be here, but there is a significant chance I won't see the guy. He'll do his Rolo like things. But what's in Edgemont? Nothing. We're going there anyway. All right, have fun looking at nothing. Wiz Division Productions, $5. Recommended your book, Worthless, to one of my coworkers. Your loyal apostles continue to spread your gospel. Long live the cult of Cappy. Thank you. William S. Oh no, YouTube decided to do the reload thing on me here. William S. $5. I came here for the Sonic Shake story. Love your channel, Cappy. Hope all's well. Well, it is when we get to the topic here. Really,
This was the topic.
Oh yeah. The topic:
Hawaiian
eternal
shirt.
optimism in the present moment.
Rolo flaking and Hawaiian shirts. Macau 156, 2.79 Canadian. Good to see you guys in one spot.
Hey,
And that is it. I think we're all caught up. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We'll get to the topic. I did want to have this discussion because the nature of our let me clear that out. The nature of our for lack of a better word, industry or the sphere that we're in is a response to bad news. I would say feminism is generally cancer. Traditionalism was the way it was optimistic. It gave something everything to live for. This has been kind of taken off the table. And men have been responding or reacting slowly, glacially, I'd say over the past 20 years. And because it is a bad thing that we are trying to react to, navigate, overcome, we don't really take the time to look back and say, holy cow, how much progress had we made? And so I wanted to have the optimism episode, which all of you made fun of me roundly in the audience saying, here's a Cappy optimistic. Da, 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 da. So I want to start with, where were you in 1999? I want to know where you were in 1999. Jack. May not apply to you because you were probably 5.
I was 9 years old. 1999. I think like Pokemon just came to the scene. Something like that. I was like in middle school, preschool, whatever that is. What is that in the background?
I don't
oh,
know.
it's
the
my
dog.
girl. She tripped over 5 pieces of hardwood. She's doing some flooring.
Oh, nice.
You got the best woman ever. Sheetrocking, she's doing the plumbing.
Yeah, I'm sitting here on a podcast telling you how to be a man. She's running the jackhammer.
I was
Jack,
like
it doesn't count for Jack. I mean, you were happy. You were 9 years old. You weren't setting things to fire just yet. No.
that's up for debate if I were happy seeing what situation I was in. But I played a lot of video games. I didn't like going to school, and I collected Pokemon cards. I didn't have a care in the world. Girls smelled horrible, and they were stupid, and I didn't shower every day, and I had no idea who Pat Stepman was, so that was a good time.
Good times.
Okay,
Good
Brian.
times.
1999. Where's Ryan
Dude,
Stone in
I
1999?
really had to think about this. So I know I graduated university by about then, and I'm pretty sure I was a graphic designer in Edmonton, Alberta. But I do remember the summer because Molson Canadian had the house party in the Rockies, and that's where they like you get it in a case of beer and like, oh, here's the golden tickets, like Willy Wonka for 20 somethings. Great Big C and Big Sugar were playing. I was hitting on girls left, right, and center. They had van loads full of beer, and you could drink for free as much as you wanted for 4 straight days. It was awesome. And then I was a graphic designer, which really paid shitty. It was right as like digital had taken over, so all the stuff I had trained, they're like, by the way, that's all obsolete. Good luck, sir. I think that about nailed it. It was pretty happy though because I got off the farm for once in my life, and it was in a nice big city, like 100,000 people. It was crazy.
Oh, wow. How were you?
Dude.
How were you with the girls?
Oh, then I was horrible. Like I was good at the friend zone shit and good at being funny.
Yeah, that
and...
takes a lot of effort to be good at being friend zoned. I mean, there's a book there.
Yeah, the only problem was I didn't know how to escalate, and I was like, I don't want to say afraid of getting laid, but like there was always that, oh, if I do this, I'll ruin all the shit I built right now. So, but yeah, I was a lot happier then, other than that part, which I guess means not happy. I don't know how to word this.
Well, my point was you were pretty bad with girls, right?
Well, the finisher. I was 50% there. I'll put it that way. I'm to optimism. Your whole thing is optimism. I'm not going to say I'm a fucking like, no, I still did get laid. I just wasn't very good at it. Right. All right, yeah, there. Go with that. That's the thing you want to hear.
Right. And we're talking even adjusted for 1999, which I would say was the last vestiges of where women kind of maybe sort of like they were not as warped as they are today. I mean, it was an easier mode back then. And
I'd say so.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Fitch.
Yep. 1999. I was at Purdue. I was in Purdue. I was wrestling. That year, I think I had a girlfriend, but I was not good with women. No, I did not. I was an alpha, a blue pilled alpha, and I kind of just fell into relationships. You know, the girls like tracked me down and found me. It wasn't really me, you know, picking and deciding what I liked.
Were they going after you because you were a wrestler or what?
I mean, I'm outgoing and not bad looking. Always been in pretty good shape. So, you know, I always had the girls attracted to me, but I definitely had the nice guy. You know, I probably screwed up more nights where like I could have had sex, but I didn't because I was like the nice guy.
That's what I was trying to say. He's got the words.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened to me too. Yeah.
Right. So like, yeah, like these girls, like, it really dawned on me later in college. And it's like, I had this roommate, like my senior year, grad school year, who was a black dude and was like a player. And he had like multiple long-term relationship girlfriends that didn't know about each other in the same city. Some of them lived in the same apartment complex. And I just watched this guy operate, and I was like, it blew my mind. And I started applying things I saw, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to just date multiple women. But that was later. And then in my senior year, before I got to that point where I started understanding things a little bit more, there was one like really nice girl in one of my classes, and I always thought she was the good girl, the shy girl, or whatever. And then it just we hung out, went on a couple dates, and then when I finally took her home after one of the dates, she's like, I've been waiting for you to rip my clothes off since I first met you. I was like, oh, Jesus. And then after that, I could drug dial her after getting home from the bar, and, you know, she would come over all the time. And it was just, just
high quality
understanding that perception of the idealized way things are supposed to be versus like the animal response, the animal reaction that people actually are or have.
So, but we could all kind of say that we were lost, right? A little bit confused. Right?
And I still didn't know what, you know, I still didn't put these things together. I don't know. I just thought I was a stud at the time.
You just got lucky.
Of course, this stuff is happening to me because I'm badass.
wrestler. Yeah.
It wasn't like I was putting together some kind of strategy or some kind of
Right.
clear thought about it.
So are we better off now? Like, I don't know, 20 odd years later, are we better off now?
Immeasurably.
Now, keep in mind it's going to take a little bit of a mental exercise because we're older now. Duh, we're better off. We've got a lot more data. But I'm saying, are we any more? Go back. Maybe today is wrong because Ryan, you've had a girl. Jack, you got a boyfriend. John, you kind of got a couple girls. You have a girlfriend, right, John?
Yeah, I
Last okay. Go back to the last time you were single. Were you less confused the last time you were single, or more confused, or about the same compared to 1999?
Well, last time that I was single was after I split with my ex-wife or whatever. You know, when she moved out, and I was, we're able to date other people, whatever. That was like 2018. So it was awkward at first because I just found the red pill space and I just found that knowledge, and I was able to kind of slowly implement some of those things over the 2-3 years after that until I was kind of good at dating and picking out the crazy ones faster and the ones that are wasting my time, and just getting really more efficient with dating through applying those principles. I was able to find somebody who's pretty great.
How much? I mean, I'd imagine a lot less headache too.
With a girlfriend now, yeah, especially one that's like, like is ready to be led and wants to throw in and help however she can. It's pretty nice.
Mm. Well, and even in the search process, I'm saying, because you didn't just go straight from your wife to your girlfriend, right?
No. Yeah, I dated a lot of girls.
All right. Was that as painful as when it was in whatever your 20s or in college?
I wasn't very good at it, so I did not date at the volume in my 20s when I was in college that I did in those few years that I was single and dating. Mm-hmm. It was very sparse and actual dates in college. There were some hookups, one night things or girls that you were booty call type things, but yeah, it wasn't. I was able to pull off 3 dates a week. I was like dating like 3 different girls a week, short dates for months. Like, yeah, I just turned through a lot more just because the idea of not having one-itis, like I used to have that mindset of like it's only right to date one person at a time. It's so wrong. What kind of monster would do that? But like women are all doing that. So like you have to date like a woman. You really have to date like a woman.
Well, and so that's my question. Would you guys say men, regardless of age, again, because it is masked by how much experience, we're all guys in our 40s except for Jack. Would you say that men in general are less confused now than they were 20 years ago?
Oh,
I don't know. That's a tough one because there are definitely guys who are more awake and more red pill leaning, and they're more open to those ideas. But there are also a large proportion of men who are super ego invested and, committed to the blue pill narrative, and they're not going to give it up.
I'm kind of, Jack, you're younger and you've been more on the dating scene. And it's going to be hard because 20 years ago you weren't pubescent. And I'm not trying to look for a certain answer. Explain how confused or painful you are. Like there must have been a time when you were younger, and then a little bit of pain and agony. Now, compare that to, so I guess it would be a 10-year contrast to you.
So you want me to compare like now with when I was confused? Because
say 16, 17.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, around 16, 17, that was really the time where I was confused, where it's like, I'm doing all these nice things and then she dumps me. Things like that. And then all of a sudden, oh, she says she doesn't want a relationship, but then she hooks up with him. Like, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. And then later on, when in my early 20s, was kind of when I finally realized, like, hey, there's this thing called being detached. And that seems to work. Like, hey, if I don't chase her when I've already had her, she's chasing me. Oh, wow, that's kind of a perfect position to be in. And then, of course, you kind of get you still got attached to somebody, and through the years of breakups and bitterness and things like that, you kind of learn not to do that either. Where it's like, oh, you know what? There's a bus every 15 minutes, but if she wants to stay, sure. Like, as long as she doesn't fuck me over, she can stay. That's where you kind of learn to not necessarily apply, but everything became more natural to feel detached from them, even though you still like them.
Right. But see, and the interesting thing about you is you're 10 years our junior at least. So you had the internet and at least a resource to go and figure out. Did you ever look this stuff up on the internet to figure out?
Weirdly enough, I didn't. A friend of mine got dumped. And he all of a sudden came up to me with Elliot Hulse and Corey Wayne. And at that point, I had just broken up or something. And I was kind of off the dating scene. I was like, nah, I don't feel like it right now. But there was this girl who kept chasing me, but she had a boyfriend. And my naive idiot mind was kind of like, oh, we're just friends. She has a boyfriend, whatever. Even though, like, she stood in front of my front door at 3 a.m. in the morning because the local bar was around the corner. I was like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, I was out and I was wondering where you were. I'm like, go find your boyfriend. Oh, he's not here. I'm like, oh, whatever. So my friend got dumped. He sends me Corey Wayne. He's like, go watch this. I'm going to get my ex back. I'm like, why do you want me to watch it? I'm like, I want you to learn. I'm like, okay. Hey, Paul.
What's up?
And Corey Wayne all of a sudden said in one of his videos where it's like, when a woman likes you, she puts herself in your orbit. I'm like, what? So you're saying this chick with a boyfriend who rings my doorbell at 3 a.m. in the morning has a thing for me? And he's like, when a woman reaches out, you have to set a date. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens. So she reaches out again with some stupid horse shit, like sending a meme like, oh, this reminded me of you. It's like, okay. I'm like, hey, when are you free to get together? And she sends me her entire schedule for the month. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit, she's into me. 2 weeks later, we smash. She breaks up with her boyfriend, and we enter a friends with benefits thing. So yeah, that's kind of how that went.
Well, the reason I bring it up, and Paul, because you're old, you might have some insights on this.
I'm ancient.
He ancient, probably he remembers Reagan.
A vampire.
The two generations here, Jack roughly, and then everyone else. You at least had the internet to kind of provide an explanation. You had a resource. Everyone else here had to go through it in terms of analog. And what I'm noticing, at least, is that fewer and fewer men, if any, okay, the environment may have changed. Yes, feminism has foisted just generally disagreeable attitudes among women in terms of the dating population upon men. But with the internet, you can actually go and figure some of this stuff out and avoid confusion. And what I see increasingly more so is like, Jack, you're a perfect example. When I was 32 or 30, whatever your age is, I had some empirical evidence. I had some experiences. It was all experiences, though. There was no formulated model. It was still in its embryonic state. The model we're coming up for, I don't know, modeling sexual dynamics. But there was still kind of like, I didn't figure out everything. I was kind of like, what isn't that? Now, your average 30-year-old guy is nowhere near as confused and lost as, say, Paul was when he was 21 years old in 1992 or something like that.
Or Paul was yesterday, you know.
Or Paul was yesterday, right.
You never know.
Right. And what I think most people, especially all of us here, fail to realize is how much work and effort going into, for lack of a better word, a model that has gone to eliminate this confusion and now is put up there as kind of an open source software. Like, here's this project. Here's this canon of information, theory, empiricism, data. I've always said the red pill is the largest sociological experiment in the history of the world. And now it's all up there. It may not guarantee that you get yourself a girl or you're successful with the opposite sex, but it sure as hell is going to inoculate you against the confusion of, Ryan, there you are over in Edmonton with a beer out in the middle of a field with a bonfire going on. And presuming there were days like that.
Yeah.
And so Jack is further ahead. You take a look at, say, I don't know if you guys know the tornado chasing kid. This kid is 21 years old. And he already knows to be his original focus is the center of his, like, focusing on self-improvement. All he does is drive around the country in van life, chasing tornadoes and doing Uber Eats to go ahead and pay for gas and survive. When I was 21, I was a moron, an idiot. I did not have that clairvoyance and vision or the knowledge to know, like, oh yeah, the girls are going to be somewhat of more challenging than you think. And if you don't know how to navigate that and invest and pursue them correctly, you are going to waste a tremendous amount of time and have a tremendous amount of frustration and angst. And now with that, with the information on the internet, when boys search this, they at minimum are no longer to be confused. And so I'm saying, do you guys see any of that in the younger people that you're dealing with, any of your clients, any of your listeners?
I have a thing on that. Okay. I get where you're going with this, and I agree to a point. But we got to be careful we're not being solipsistic with ourselves here, because I know that everybody here is affecting our circles in a way that's pretty positive and giving them good answers. But there's probably more BS stuff out on the internet right now than stuff that's real answers, right?
Wait,
and so,
you
like,
need to tell me people are lying on the internet and it's popular?
This will surprise you. However, there's a lot of BS out on the internet. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about women in the dating market. And sometimes, it's sometimes on the other side of it too. It's not so much blue pill fantasy, but it's like, the
Get
other
your wife
side.
back in 8 weeks or less.
There's a lot of isms, a lot of purple pill stuff.
Yeah, it's just like taking some of the red pill concepts like way to a level that the concept was never intended to, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't bang on the first date, then get rid of her because you're not that Chad that she likes, like just like crazy.
Yeah, they fill it up with bravado and just nonsense.
Yeah. Then everybody on the internet's like, I bang all the girls on the first date. Yeah, me too. Don't you bang all the girls on the first date? And a bunch of dudes who can't get girls anyway, but they're on the internet, somewhere talking about it.
Are we talking like these dating coaches who have an avatar and like the Greek helmet maybe a lion?
There's this guy on there now, Nash Day Game, and Wine More Please from the old Mary Red Pill stuff. He's just been laying into him for like 3 straight days about how useless he is, and it's entertainment, man. You would love it. You would love it.
This is where I miss Twitter, where it's like, Rob told me it is like brutal out there.
Jack, I just figured out how to use Twitter, and now you're not on Twitter. This is like, next thing you know, I'm going to get on TikTok in 3 years when I figure that one out, and then everybody else will be off of it. I'm way behind the times. But no,
I don't have TikTok either. So
the biggest thing though is that we have so much information that guys need to be able to get rid of the noise and the information that's completely useless. So that now that's the new challenge, right? The new challenge was I don't have answers and I'm trying to find answers, and all my sources suck, and I just don't have the right answers are just harder to find, right? That would have been pre-internet, but now you have all the answers out there, but it's mixed in with a lot of BS. And so it's like, how do I pick out what's the right answer? What's the good thing that's going to, get me to my goals and the life I want efficiently and effectively? We see this in firearms training. So just as a side note, because guys, all right. So in fighting training, if I'm like, hey, I got this thing, that's the sweet choke. And like, John's like, no, that's stupid. I, used to fight and that's not going to work. I'm like, oh yeah, well, it's going to work. Right. And then we just roll, and then John's going to beat me up, right? And be like, see, your choke doesn't work. Super easy. Totally right there, evidence. But shooting, I mean, we're not getting into gunfights. When we are getting into gunfights, it's a real live scenario. It's completely different. It's much harder to test that. Like, I can't go, well, my gunfighting concept's cool. Let's spar. And then someone dies and goes, it doesn't quite work like that. So so it's harder. So there's all this theory and all this BS out there, and it's harder to like vet out what's actually a good training concept and what isn't. It's kind of the same with getting girls relationships, because relationships are individualized things. That girl has a lot of course, things that make her a woman that we can generalize about. But there's things that I hope so. But there's things though that
the world is right now.
Yeah, I know it's not as binary as it used to be, but the girl might, but the relationship's unique, right? And so like what I do that works with this particular girl might not work with the next girl. And it's hard to, and then of course, what are people telling the truth about what a lot of people, embellishing, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like harder to get that evidence of what works, what doesn't, what's good for you, what isn't, how things are, how things aren't, when you're trying to vet through all this stuff. This is how you end up with black pillars and all that crap. Right?
Would you, well, see, and that's, it's a interesting thing. Would you say, let's say you have some fraudulent guy in Pakistan, sets up an avatar, puts a lion on the face, or a gorilla, or whatever, and take my course, my Gumroad course. All right. Is that even necessarily worse than pre-internet where it was all blue pill?
Yeah, I don't know if it's worse. I wouldn't say worse. I think it's better now, for sure. It's just, there's just new problems, and that new problem is to go. It always comes back to results, man. Like that's why I always say results based. Like when it was down to training people, it was like, we want a results based approach. We want to be able to test out what we're doing as best as we can and see if we're getting the results. If a theory doesn't flesh out in the world we're trying to get results in, we got to scrap it. Doesn't matter how cool it sounds. Doesn't matter who's training it. Doesn't matter how mainstream it is, whatever. Right. And it's the same thing with dealing with relationships, dealing with women, dealing with, psychology and interpersonal stuff. I mean, let's, this is kind of my role, like what I do with people. I'm not a researcher, I'm not running clinical trials. I'm looking at stuff that's out there that people have already researched, already done. That's kind of the, what you do as sort of a coach or a consultant. I'm not the research guy, but what I am going to do is figure out what people are going to be able to get results with as effectively, efficiently as they can, and then implement that. You know what I mean? And that's what people need to do. But it's better now because you have more stuff to get results with.
Right. See, and you're operating from the premise, well, you're a moral man. Someone comes to you for coaching at Apex Mindset. Yeah. You want to actually, you're results oriented. I think everyone here is results oriented.
Oh yeah.
But obviously there are some quote grifters or fraudulent people. But here's kind of what I'm seeing out there on the internet, pre and post. So the foundational work was done largely because of people like Rollo and the original R's, and dare I throw some of us in there too. And so it's kind of this foundational revolution, and they got this base operating system. And people saw that like, hey, pussy is the number one commodity in the world. I can make money on this. I can make a grift. And I don't know how many times Rollo has pointed out people plagiarize his ideas or take the ideas and don't give them credit, which is fine, but it doesn't make any of this stuff less true. So a perfect example, that I'll actually use the word correctly. Creepy guy with the glasses. I'll have to make a bold confession. I don't think marriage counseling works. That guy, get your wife back in 8 weeks or less.
Oh,
have you guys seen that advertising? No. Oh God. Just like fraudster, like get the F out of here type. Like, yeah. My question is what he's going to teach in that thing wrong? Are there
wronger than wrong?
What's that?
Wronger than wrong. That's the problem with this stuff. It's not that the grifters are lying. It's not that hustlers are lying. It's not that people are good intention but wrong. It's that it's not even wrong. Do you know, wrong or the wrong? It's a philosophical term. The idea that your premises are so bad, the way you framed it is so bad, that even if all of those things are right, your premise is so wrong that you're going to have a garbage in, garbage out situation.
Right.
And that's the problem. Like right there, win your wife back in 7 weeks. Faulty premise. The premise is that you can manipulate people, that you want this one relationship to work, and that if you just work hard enough, that you can fight, and then you will negotiate desire, and then no matter what solution you come up with, that
you're starting with the wrong premise.
Exactly. It's
That's
going
the-
to be
that's what they do.
wronger
Yeah.
than wrong. If it was just us talking about sexual dynamics, we laid out the playfield perfectly,
Sand.
and then we gave you bad advice that didn't work, that would be wrong. That is honestly great. I would prefer if things were wrong, because if it's wrong, then you're like, that guy's an idiot. I'm going to do the exact opposite of him, and then it works. The problem with wronger than wrong is the guy isn't even aware of something, whether it's working or not. He's not looking at the right stuff. It's just ridiculous. And that's the worst part, because then you get in these if you get into an argument with these assholes, he'll be able to, do some mental jujitsu, throw the biggest, fanciest words he knows, mention some academic professors he knows that makes references to it, and it's all like an airtight pile of shit that you just can't get past.
It's like dealing with a flat earther or something, man. Like,
flat earther with he pulls out charts. He's got a globe of the flat earth or whatever, and you can't win that.
No,
and the guys who are in there believing flat earth, there's nothing you could say to convince them, and they're wrong, and they've made their life horrible because of it, but they're not even using the same metrics of success you are, objective ones. They're using their subjective ones.
Right.
Like, how do you get through that?
Well, you don't, because the premise is faulty. I agree with you.
Right.
But here's my question. Is that better than old school blue pill thinking?
I'd say yes, because at least old school blue pill thinking, you didn't have a bunch of people trying to fuck you over. Eventually, your observations had to take over. Do you remember the pre-internet days? How many people did you have giving you bad dating advice pre-internet?
See, I would argue that's worse. Take whatever, just lift bra or whatever. Hey, take Slippy Slipperson's, 5-week course, whatever.
He didn't mean that, Jack. You're not Slippy Slipperson.
Let's say Jack came in with a fraudulent claim. Like, if you take my lifting course, bra, you'll be getting your dick sucked in 30 days or less. All right.
But not fraudulent. It's real.
So
be like me. It worked for me.
And he goes, you take Slippy Slipperson's over in Holland, his course. They hit the gym, they diet correctly, but their dick ain't getting sucked in 30 days. Would they not, through osmosis or going through those and having parts that are reality based and red pill, would they not be better off than a completely blue pill thing? And Ryan, I know you're right. Like, somewhere in the blue pill environment, you'd find out it was wrong, and people would tell you. I would argue that never happened. They would always chalk it up to bad luck. Hey, you're just fishing in the wrong hole. Oh, someday, maybe you're attracted to the wrong type. No one had the balls to come in and say it. And so I would argue that even if it comes from an erroneous premise that you could get your wife back in 30 days or less, or have your dick sucked in 30 days or less with Slippy Slipperson, those are still better, because there's at least elements of truth in there, and it's because they're co-opting and totally lifting red pill ideology, but that's better than.
Why'd you call it an ideology?
Because it is based on
praxeology.
I would say it's a praxeology. Okay, sorry, I got to get
Red
the
Pill
technical word.
101, Cappy.
Praxeology. I would
The
say
cult of the red.
operating system.
Please turn to page 10 of your rational mailbox, people. Silence.
I think it's the same, though, really. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's worse before than now. I just, because my journey too is different. Like, I started to figure out a lot of things when I was just like bouncing and chatting around. And I went from friend zone, like, couldn't get girls to like me, but I was the tougher guy, right? Because I like fought and did stuff, trained. It was like boxing and stuff like that. But then I got into like bouncing, having a lot of girls around. I could see like a lot of ways that girls were, and that they're not just this pretty and nice thing that I put on a pedestal, and guys are all bad, and like just like it defeated a lot of concepts for me. And then when I got into like psychology, I was getting into Evo Psych before I heard about red pill. And so by the time I got into Rollo's book, it was like, oh, he explains it so much better than like I could explain it. Like, it was like, but I already kind of understood a lot of those concepts, like the alpha beta dynamic thing, alpha bangs, beta bucks thing. I mean, strategic pluralism has been around for a while in evolutionary psych. And so I had already made that connection. I already made a lot of these connections prior to. And then it's like, I think I'm coming up with something sweet. And then I find then I'm like, find this red pill community where a lot of stuff's already there. Like these guys have been talking about it for years. I'm like, oh damn it. I thought I was inventing this thing, but I guess not. Yeah. So I kind of came to it later with some competency. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying with the older guys, you had to do it analog, you had to do through empiricism and trial and error. And what I'm saying now is fine. There's a lot of noise and interference on the internet ranging from in 30 days, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there is also the blue pill stuff, but at least now today, there is a work of knowledge, a body of knowledge out on the internet that is available. Maybe you got to search it a little bit, but it is possible now for younger men today to skip through the confusion and the trial and error. Now, and yes, there's a risk that they might subscribe to, who's the guy with the monkey, the gorilla mindset guy?
Cernovich?
Cernovich,
Mike Cernovich.
Yeah. You might subscribe, but even then, it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, it's not that the gorilla mindset is.
No,
wrong.
I think I get what you're saying. Here, I'll add this.
All right.
Let's say it's better, but it's more polarizing. I'll say it's like the military. You know, everybody always says the military is an alpha male incubator, and no, I've seen plenty of guys that are simping, but the thing is, it just amplifies it to the point where. You know, I'll have a guy that was writing suicide notes on supply boxes as a supply tech because his wife had her 3 ex-husbands living in his house while he was sailing and all the kids roaming around. Shit you not, that's a real story, by the way. He was also fat, so he had nothing going for him. But you also had guys that were just sleeping with everything that moved and enjoying a good life, great investments in that. I think this is in that situation with too much information. The ones that were going to make it are now, oh, this is awesome. I made it so much quicker, like you said. But the ones that probably weren't going to make it and might have muddled through, now they're just fucked.
Well, now here, which is an interesting point, because I think this is why I'm optimistic, is at least now we have this, but it kind of presents a very interesting road because, all right, we got this knowledge. Young men, I don't think men are going to suffer red pill rage anymore because they'll search it. Why can't I get laid? They're inevitably going to end up on somebody's page and they're going to end up finding it. So, yeah, Jack, go ahead.
Cappy, real quick. So what you're asking is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And which one is best? That's actually what you're asking. Because the question is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And
Being
which
right
one of the
makes me
two?
happy though.
Yeah. Are you talking
Like,
ignorantly happy, ignorance is bliss kind of thing or what?
I mean, truth hurts.
Kinda.
That's just the thing. Like, if you want to be right, be prepared to not always be happy. But if you want to be happy, you have to be ignorant. So is it better to be blue pill? Well, maybe because you're ignorant of everything, but you're going to get a world of hurt.
No.
those
What
guys
I'm
are doing
saying is
terrible, though.
I'm saying we're past that dynamic now. I think the blue pill no longer has a monopoly because you have the internet. And I think the male sex drive is so strong, it will drive men to find, like, why am I not getting laid? But instead of Paul, Ryan, John, and I, like, trial and erroring, why is this girl knocking at my doorstep? Younger men today can get a shortcut and have that explained. The problem or the paradox they are going to face, and this is what we kind of see now, is do they give up and throw in the towel? Or do they then, okay, now there's an inordinate amount of work. Now I know what is required of me. It may take some searching and all that. But however they consume this reality to get the girl saw, they're going to face a choice. Wow, how much work and effort? And not to mention, they're still getting unplugged. Like, but I thought I could just be myself because we all start blue pill. You all start with your female teachers and your mom's a liar. But more quickly, like once you hit puberty, once they're on the internet, they're not wandering the desert from 13 to 33. They're wandering the desert maybe up until 15 before red pill concepts hit their cell phone and they got it. The question that they're going to face is, are they going to put in the effort to start delivering what girls want?
No.
And so, no, you okay,
No.
Paul?
Yeah. So no, let me tell you the reason why that is. Now, there's going to be always a percentage of guys that will, which is good. That's what I'm here for. Those dudes. That's what we're here for. But there's, besides like the dating marketplace, what we're dealing with is a less of an ability to put effort into things. So like because things are happening so much quicker, the younger generations are just being conditioned to not like put effort into things to get results. They don't get the intrinsic rewards as much. I mean, it's just something that I'm sort of observing and noticing, like, and even like with courses and stuff like that. The reason why people grift, it's like buy my course, and with no effort at all in a short period of time, all the things happened. And it's always an overpromise, but it always sells, right? And the reason that sells is because there's more people that want to passively get the results without the effort than there are people who will put in effort to get the results. And it's probably always been that way, but I feel like it's exaggerated now with screen time and the way we're reconditioning, rewiring our brains with passive entertainment and passive activities involving a screen, cell phones, social media, all that stuff. And so I think that the ability to get better has never been, more out there for people. But I think that, a lot of people are just not going to do the work, because at the end of the day, if you want to get the results, you could get the best course in the world, but you have to do some work. You have to do some effort. Right.
So
what
you would say, Paul, is certainly the blue pill is out there. But that blue pill, I would say, has been replaced with a red pill reality. And inevitably people get there. I'm just trying to make sure I say this correctly. But you're saying, absent the blue pill, someone takes the red pill. Oh, okay. The blue pill at least
different fantasy, though.
You're right. So
it's a different fantasy now.
You get to the point, all the lies socialist teachers, Democrats, parents, whatever, media told me, the blue pill is obsolete. But now already people are coming in with, so they're in this kind of like twilight zone. They're not quite there, but now the true hucksters and shysters come in and say, hey, no effort, red pill. And now we've simply replaced one poison with another poison.
Correct.
And now these people are stuck in this perpetuitous, what do you Catholics believe in? You're not in heaven or hell. Purgatory.
Purgatory,
you're stuck in this. Is that what it is? Go ahead, John. What were you saying?
Purgatory. My red pill energy drink will be coming out soon, and that's all you'll need.
Yeah, just have that. You'll be in shape. But it is what
20-hour days you need to get Lambos and Campbell.
But especially though with something like getting girls in your life, because okay, so a fitness program you can see in the mirror, whether you're getting results or not, and people still will lean towards less effort to get the results. That's okay, but there's going to be some visible results. People lie about their results on the internet when it comes to what they're doing with women, and so I can tell. I'm a lie detector test. I don't know if people understand that. I'm not always right.
Women, really?
I'm not always right. Well, that one's an easy one to figure. I'm not always right when I do it, but I'm pretty decent at detecting these things, just that I can see guys, very normal people that, I know when they're embellishing, and it's just like, it's all right. People embellish, happens, but you're going, yeah, it's just, so you get this non-reality presented on the internet, and then people sort of trying to follow these things, but they're not really putting in the work unless they get into a program that requires it. Like I'm sure you guys all have your own versions of things, but like in my mastermind group, it's like, what's your goals? What are you doing? It's like there's sort of some accountability there, and people are out trying things, fucking it up, and then coming back and going, okay, what here's a situation, and so they're definitely demonstrating an ability, that they're putting in that stuff. But it's hard though, not everybody's going to do that. And so at least in the blue pilled world, I mean, it was bad because it was a lie, right? Of course. But the presentation was, well, if you put in a bunch of work, you're going to get these results. That was the whole blue pill concept. If you just work hard and be a good husband and be a good dad and be a good,
you gotta take responsibility and save your father from the belly of the whale.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? So there was this ideology of being a hard work in a way, for a man and for a husband and for a boyfriend, whatever. Now it's like, oh, that's all BS, So then what's like, well, I shouldn't have to do anything because these women, and I'm not 6 foot tall, so whatever, I'm just gonna, it's just like, it's
okay. Dark question, very dark question. Is that not progress? Going from busting your ass off, risking divorce, slaving away, blah, 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 to like, woman ain't shit, brah. is that progress? And if I am going to get woman, then I'm going to get John Fitch's energy drink, and then I get the women. But dark, is that not progress over what we had before?
It's more annoying. It's way more annoying.
I think it depends on the person, you know. Like I think some people, I mean, it can be a step at least, because at least they're, you know, they're questioning sort of a paradigm. They're trying to figure it out. But I mean, people have always been trying to figure it out, though. They just didn't have the resources. I mean, our mating, you know, imperative is a primary drive. So people are always going to try to solve it. The reason why you have this space at all is because of more dudes not having mating opportunities, and because of feminism, and because of the divorce laws that got out of control. And that's the reason we're here, because it's out of necessity. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like
more or less small groups where men can get alone and be alone and not have women steering shit up.
Yeah. Well, because we lost stuff, right? We lost a lot of things, and guys are not having mating opportunities, and we don't have violence as a solution for that. Not that that's not bad. That is progress. But you go places like, all right, where there's harem structure, like in Afghanistan. Why are all these dudes, you know, joining the Taliban and trying to kill each other? Because they're not getting broads. And it really is that simple. There really is that simple. They don't have mating opportunities. The large majority of these guys don't have mating opportunities, so they want to, you know, be a tough guy, get some clout, be some sort of a warlord, work their way up. And if they work their way up in a warrior culture, that's the quickest way for them to have that opportunity. Being a farmer in an area where you can't farm anything, you know, and being an absolute poverty is not an answer for mating opportunities for them. Yep. And this is why they fight 100%. And so, yeah. So, but in a place like the West, like we have more opportunities, but you know, in the United States, generally speaking, being a warlord isn't going to get you laid here, you know, like that'll get you in jail.
Yeah.
You know, so that's not what we're doing.
Well, wait, hang on. It will get you laid in jail. Girls will say you love letters. Well,
not the kind of laid you want.
Let me pose I'm sorry to be so precise, because I'm still optimistic. I think it is an improvement.
I'm optimistic.
Let me ask you guys this. Who do you think had it better? The baby boomer men who just got ass raped and divorced in the 70s and 80s and are now seeing the sunset on their life, or the maybe not sexless, but your MGTOW, even your insult basement dweller types who consciously or unconsciously via the red pill, you know, there's two general groups that'll fall.
Define better.
Well,
I hate the vagueness to it.
Let me get to the just whatever your current belief system of better is right now, Ryan. Just hang on. So you take the red pill, you go one of two ways. I am going to put in the effort, like Paul says, you take a course, hit the gym, take Jack's course, get my finances together, things like learn to fight, all that other stuff. Or I'm out, women ain't shit. So let's remove people who are willing to put in the work. Let's say we got the suckers and the dupes who took get your wife back in 8 weeks or less, that kind of thing. Who's better off? The incel saying, forget it, I'm out. I'm going to look at the prawn and I'm going to live at home and I'm not going to work or whatever. Like the worst of the worst. Or the boomer guys who are on their third marriage, wife hates them, they ain't got no money, and their life was largely pain and agony. Jack.
Okay, who gets laid the most out of those two?
Well, the boomer guys did, but is that
there you have it. Case closed.
I told you to define better, you dope.
Arguing with Cappy.
Cappy, look at that. You're mute, man.
Bro. You muted yourself.
Did I? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mute you.
He shut you down so hard, your mic even's like, dude.
I tried to mute myself because I was coughing. Okay, but all right, let me counter. You go seeking arrangement. You get the girl. Anyone can get laid. I'm saying is a life wait, because the boomer men, I'm generally going to say you wasted your lives. You believed you didn't. The feminism was delivered. You held on to a traditional position on a battleground that was largely and rapidly becoming untenable and indefensible. You stuck it out. They wasted their lives.
I see where you're going with this. Now, listen, like a guy like, you know, who follows, like, let's say, kind of, maybe let's say your more or less prescription, which is, I mean, you have a girlfriend and everything, but it's like, if you didn't have one, you're just living your life, doing what you want to do and having good experiences for yourself. And it's not about, you know, it doesn't revolve around a chick, you know, you're living life for you. And that's great. So that guy who follows that paradigm is going to be way better off, like 10 times better off. But then there's what about the guy who self-selects because, he's lonely and sad and whatever? That guy exists too. He's not necessarily better off. The guy who goes the really angry route and joins, Pat Stedman's, the Capitol or something, or whatever, right? Like,
I mean, that welleth never runs dry.
Was he?
That's the guy who doesn't get laid. I don't care what course he teaches. Like, seriously. So that, you know what I mean? That's these types of people. These people are not better off. So it really just depends on which way they go. I think that, though, optimistically, we have more opportunity than ever before to do well. And that's what we have. Whereas there was just not even the paradigm presented to dudes in blue pill they had no idea that there was this other life that they could be doing, whether it involved women, whether it involved just saying screw women, I'm going to go my own way or whatever. Like, they didn't know that there was a whole nother thing that they could do and have it not be miserable and terrible. Right. And so we have now more opportunities for happiness and satisfaction and having more in life than ever before. So that's the positive side of it, I think.
See, Clary, this is why you got to define it. The reason I hate your question is because what does better mean? Honestly, what does better mean? You talk about the boomer that got 3 divorces. My stepdad is that boomer. And right now he's sitting there 70 years old. He's got a 40-year-old wife and a brand new kid on the way. He's had 3 separate families. So he seems to be doing what he wants to do. Now, would I want that? Absolutely not. He used to work 16 hours a day out in the bush. He's a big, fat, Viking-looking motherfucker. A little bit of abuse in the history, but whatever. Nobody's perfect. I wouldn't want that. According to him, though, he's living his best life. He's got millions in his bank. He's got the excavators going. The Hells Angels stopped calling him for work. Great. You look at me, what do I got? I got my real estate, my girl, the lifestyle that I want to, and the amount of free time. I can basically take as much free time as I want for anything, and it's absolutely wonderful. But the thing is, you can't compare those two. And this is why I prefer Red Pill as a strategy, thinking about these things, than any of these other ideologies, because they always say there's a goodness. This is what's good. Christian guys, this is what a good Christian man lives like. Live like this, you'll be happy. Miserable guys, great Christians. Politicians are like, live like the Democrats or Republicans and you'll be happy. Absolutely miserable people. But, my party won this election. Fucking rights. As opposed to shed all of that, what you need to do in life to be happy, and just focus on what's right in front of you. Like in your case, you wanted to move. You moved from the Muslim capital of Canada or of America, Minnesota. Yeah, Mogadishu. And now you live in one of the Dakotas. I didn't know there was 2, but fuck, whatever.
It's all right.
It's so nice they had to name it twice.
Alberta and Saskatchewan are the same. They're the same province.
Exactly. But that's the point. For you, that was good. Does that matter if you were a boomer? Does that matter if you knew sexual strategy or not? No. You have a direction and you're following it. And I would argue better from the Red Pill perspective, better in the sense that you're carving your own path and adapting to the situation you have without a pre-made template. I would say worse in the sense that because there's no pre-made template, that means a lot of guys are going to fail. But again, the guys who have potential are going to do great. The guys who have no potential are going to fail. And it's just the way it is. Is life better? Is life worse? I'm too busy adapting to what's right in front of me to even care about that.
So what you're saying is, regardless of whether you take the Red Pill, it ultimately then boils down to whether you're one of the type of guys who's going to take agency and go out and live their life. Yeah. And if you're not, then you're just switching one bit of poison for the other. You got the blue pill poison. Fine, you give that up. You find a new religion. You become an ideologue of what's it called? Not a fanatic. What do they call it? A
zealot.
A zealot. Thank you. Where you got nothing going on anyway, but now you glom onto this as your new. Oh, I'm an environmentalist. I'm a pacifist, or I'm a vegan. Oh, I'm a red pill guy. But yeah, now you're still just as miserable.
Yeah, and then if you call it good or better, it's such a vague, fungible term that ask 18 people what it means to be happy, and if they're happy, you'll get 27 different answers, and none of them make sense, and none of them align with the other ones. So I just think just the concept itself, if it has no utility, like why are we even using it?
All right. And that's Ryan? The thing, like, is
Go ahead, Jack.
Doesn't it come down to that ancient old question you and Rob and I and others have always asked?
Fuck it and roll.
What do you want?
Hey,
What do you want? And the you is subjective because that depends on the individual.
yeah.
Like,
Of
are
course
you
it's better
happy?
now.
I
If
don't
it
know.
wasn't better, if it wasn't better, I wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't be happy with Cappy's life. Nobody would. But Cappy
Not
wouldn't
with
be
that
happy
shirt.
with my life.
What?
Dude, look at your flowers versus mine on these things. Incomparable. Incomparable.
We both have girlfriends. They
I mean,
both
I
do
like
work.
my neck, so I don't want to trade
Yeah.
with Paul. But Paul doesn't want to trade with me because he doesn't like my small frame. So yeah,
Both live in our own place, both have girlfriends, both wearing Hawaiian shirts,
Oh.
both authors. Completely incomparable, though.
yeah.
Take from that a
God,
slight or a
here I am.
compliment how
I'm
you
trying
want.
to be happy. I'm trying to paint optimism. You guys
Isn't this
shitting all
positive?
over me.
I'm inferring. I'm not actually shitting.
Ryan, actually, technically, people will be as happy as a man.
Hypothetically.
I'll take my avocado toast now. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll never be trying to be optimistic again.
What? I'm not. This isn't good. This isn't happy.
This is great. It's great.
Here
Just
I
like
am,
you're-
like telling
you're-
guys be subjective.
You're
You know,
extra special, Ryan. Today, you're extra special, Ryan.
But I think though that is a good and or optimistic thing though. The fact that we're not it causing people to question what is it that I actually want here? What is it that I'm trying to create? Where am I going? Like that's the first question. I start even deeper than that with guys, which is, well, who are you? It's such a weird, that is such a weird thing when people are like, wait a second, who am I? Like,
How many guys mention their job? As
don't
their
you
go-to?
know who I am?
Right. It's like it's a question. What is your actual identity? Who are you? How do you see yourself? And how is that different than how you would like to see yourself? How is your life as it looks now different than what you would like it to look like? And let's figure out from there what it is you actually want, because people are going for what they think they want because somebody else told them. It's societal programming. And then they find out that that's not really what they wanted at all. And I've done it. Everyone's done it. You're following sort of a program thinking this is what I'm supposed to do because this is what's going to make me happy. You don't even realize that doesn't fit who you are, doesn't fit your identity. And you haven't really been that intentional about where you're going based on who you are and what you really want to do and be like. And so discovering that is a whole process. You know what I mean? Before even getting the girls, that's a good one to figure out, because how these girls are going to show up in your life is going to be predicated as to the messages you put out into the world. And I don't mean that in some weird esoteric, The Secret kind of thing. It's just that we're social animals, right? So if I put out social signals, they're going to receive those social signals, react to those social signals, and then that gives me feedback now, so they're giving me feedback based on what I'm presenting to them. And that's based on who I am and what I believe about myself, even if I don't realize it or not. And so if I have a certain paradigm of if I don't really understand who I am, and then I'm trying to just get the girls, because really my imperative is just to get laid, right? That's the whole, the drive. I might be inviting toxic women into my life, for example, because how I see myself is, and I'm not even self-aware about how I see myself. It's sending messages out into the world that makes toxic women respond to me more so and better than non-toxic, better choices. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's a whole discovery, man. But nowadays you can do that. You couldn't do, it was harder to do that before.
Right. But you are operating from a premise that people are, I don't know if you remember this shirtless, bald Canadian with a beard who said they're willing to do the work. And I get a lot of questions up in Asshole Consulting where, what should I do in my life? I'm like, motherfucker, if you can't sit the fuck down and figure that shit out, it doesn't matter what you do. So we could say, because you guys are making this hard to make this optimistic. We could say,
almost like it's a complicated
I think it's very optimistic.
You're hosting.
For those willing to put in the work, it has never been a clearer path. Like, look, we've gotten rid of all the blue pill, Marxist, leftist, feminist bullshit and lies. We've gotten rid of all the pretty lies. here are some brass tacks things you can do, starting which, Paul, it would be know thyself and figuring out what you want to do for those willing to put in the effort and work. But otherwise, for most other people, they're just too damn lazy. Like, what? Oh, be nice to girls and not hit the gym? Okay. Now it's like, oh, take your elixir, bro, and then I get the girls, and maybe I get cufflinks and coif my hair, then I get the girls. Okay, bro.
Ooh,
So,
cufflinks.
yeah. Do you guys remember like the
Cufflinks,
Short Man
that's a
Fashion
lost.
blog or YouTube channel? Or no?
No.
Short Man Fashion was, I'm shorts. I'm going to compensate by going overkill with fashion. And I'm all for being a Troy Francis level fashion guy, but not above. Like what type of sculpting gel should I? And they post pictures like, does this hair look better or does this hair look better? Like, you're a bunch of fucking women. My fucking God. But that's either here. But we could say
Yeah, what can we say?
we have provided. I'll say this is what I'll say. Optimistic. We have rediscovered lost wisdom. We have put it up on the internet for all to see. And it is available for those who are willing to put in the work and follow and abide by these general rules or policies, guidelines, and
Guidelines, anyway.
Guidelines. More like guidelines. And so for anyone willing to put the work, that is now the express way to self-improvement. However you interpret it, a happier life, or at least a less painful life, or more progress and success, whether that applies to girls, career, what's that?
Girls.
You got to define less painful, though. I don't think we can have this conversation.
Damn it, Paul.
You son of a bitch.
Could you define less?
All right. Never. Can we agree that for those who are seeking it, it's available in there, and if they're willing to put in the work, it fast tracks you.
Agree.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
No,
I can't tell if they're
but
shitting
for
on you
sure,
or
though.
me here.
Both.
No, but for sure. No, I by whatever definition of agree, I agree with that statement though. It's even with making money and a lot of things, like there's just so many more resources. I mean, nowadays you can get PhD level knowledge, through audiobooks and in listening to talks and listening to and studying things off the internet. It's insane the amount of knowledge you can gain. You can figure out how to do just about anything with a YouTube search now. So, I mean, it's good. It's good. The resources are there. It's just a matter of goes back to finding out who you are, what you really want, and then what direction you're going, and then being able to measure results so you can get rid of the BS. That's the new challenge, is getting rid of the BS and following what you want, doing your thing for sure.
I'm gonna go do some super chats so we don't get too far behind, and then we'll kind of wind up with your guys' optimist. I told you to bring something optimistic. I'm gonna be real curious if
I
anyone
have been
has
nothing
anything.
but joyous this entire stream.
You've been a pleasure to be around. The Come On Man, but you guys know Paul, right?
Yeah.
How come this
Cool,
isn't
dude.
showing up?
Oh, I don't know.
Dude,
You gotta
There it
click on
is. Can you guys see it?
And we
No,
just
I did,
had
but
it.
You took it off.
There it is.
Had it. Wow, my internet must be. Paul writes, for $20 generous dollars, 1999 I was in the Navy and my ship was in dry dock that year.
Dude,
what does
those
that
are
mean,
good
Ryan?
times.
Translate to
Dry,
civilians.
well, it's literally that you take it into the dockyard and then you drain out of the water underneath and you do the maintenance period on it. Awesome time. You have work, like your schedule is just awesome. This is where you get to sleep around. This is where you get like 4 days off. Like every fourth day you have a duty watch at 24 hours. Oh, it's chef's kiss.
So
Chef's
the
kiss.
ship is not operate. They send in people to fix it up, and all the sailors got to go on shore leave, essentially.
It's like modified duty watches. It's like the equivalent of a foreign port, but at home. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Just a lot more free time.
Oh yeah.
Michael McGill.
If you're gonna
Anderson.
smash through Navy chicks, that's when you catch them. They are available
And
every
bored.
day.
So bored.
And so bored. They are
Bored enough to
the
sleep with you
biggest
guys?
freaks in the military or in the Navy when these ships are in dry, whatever they call it.
Michael Miguel Anderson, 10 Mexican pesos, which is what, 12.5 cents or a
I
dollar?
don't know.
No, all right.
With inflation?
Thor, good old Red Pill Thor for $10. Shout out to Cappy, John, Jack, and Ryan. Rule 0 forever, ever. Rule 0, 1%. And guys, if you're looking to donate money to a noble cause. Just search Thor Missy GoFundMe. His wife got in a tragic accident, was paralyzed from the neck down, and thankfully, through a miracle, has got her feeling back. But now she has to relearn to walk and drive and all that other stuff. So they have obviously incurred some medical bills. So your donations would be very much appreciated. And unlike welfare, it won't be squandered on single mom trash. Scrolling.
Optimistic message. Single moms.
Single moms. Am I
Yeah,
right?
where is John? Let me tell
Am
you
I
about
right?
American women.
I was gonna say.
Michael Fideli, $10. The time has passed for wealthy, fit men and average men to want USA women, and there is no easy way
there
of
it is.
getting it back. We are going overseas. I have hot, respectful young women in 5 countries.
All right.
That's another
Good
option.
for you.
It's out there. I mean, beforehand. And,
Not wrong with that. Whatever. You do what you got to do, man.
oh, my internet
You know?
is slow. I apologize here. Let me.
think
I
it's
don't like
because of
the
American
missing
women.
super chats.
You're slow.
That too. Atham Decula, $2. Aaron Clary equals Chaparrito, Mexican poops.
Okay.
And that's it. Good.
Gotta
Let's
get
go
that.
through. Optimism. What do you got that's optimistic? I'm gonna floor you guys with my optimism. Jack, go ahead.
What have I got that's optimistic?
What do you see in the future? What is optimistic? Where do you see the red pill community, the efficacy of the red pill?
Oh no,
10
the red pill
10 to 20
community is going
years
to
from
burn
now?
down. Oh
What?
yeah, there's nothing optimistic about that. That is turning to shit as we speak. That is going to be overgrifted, oversold, and nothing. And you know what the positive thing about that is?
Man, I come here for Christmas. I
No,
just get
hold
coal in
on,
my
hold
stocking.
on.
All right.
Hold on. And you know
Wow.
what's optimistic about that? Is that the guys who actually get it are going to be way better off anyway. It's like, that's the good thing. Like, Ryan's putting out his message there. You are Cappy. John is. Paul is. I am. Rob is. Guys like that. Nick August. Let him burn. Those guys. I mean, we'll do our thing and shit like that. But the grifters are going to keep grifting. And guys are going to fall for it. And you know what? Let them burn. You're going to get hurt before you're going to get better. And, like, the sphere in and of itself, the whole red pill thing, it's going to have to go through that phase again where it's being overrun by snake oil salesmen. And that is just part of the cycle, I guess. But out of that, surely a lot of guys are going to come out, they're going to go get hurt, and then things are going to get better. So maybe that's optimistic.
No,
But-
it was not optimistic. I mean, like, there's like, here's this big old turd, but I put a cherry on top
No,
of
but
it. So
it's
no,
also
no.
like,
From
get
the
yours.
ashes, the phoenix will arise, dude.
Right.
I totally get it.
right, yeah.
Huh.
It's-
Ryan gets me.
Yeah.
But it's also like, get yours. That is something that guys have to understand. It's not always about the collective. Like, we as men need as a... No. What do you want? And go get it. Stop focusing on what other guys are doing with their dick. You shouldn't care. Neither should we. Go get yours, whatever you want.
What have you been doing with your dick today, though? I'm just curious. Just wondering.
John, you have any optimism? Do you see happiness anywhere? Do you see it for the red pill community?
I see, yeah, because there's guys who are using the resources available. They are finding good quality things. The guys that I've seen put in effort and make change and increase, the enjoyment of their life in John's, My Life Dating John's programs and his guys, like, there's a lot of guys who are kind of loserish guys who are turning things around, with their work, with their jobs, their physical stature, and how they're doing with dating. It's cool to see. So that's where I'm optimistic, is because there is a way to find help. There is a way to find real answers, real strategies that you can apply to make your life better. guys like myself have used the knowledge in Red Pill to get the most out of my life, and I am excited about that. I'm happy that I was able to learn these skills, and we'll try to pass them on to other people. And I think that's a good thing, because the messaging for a long time has been to feminize people. I think they want all men a lot weaker, and we need to fight against that. I'm tired. I've noticed since I was a little kid how there's been messaging towards like pushing people to be weak, and I always thought it was stupid. And people tell I was paranoid 10 years ago for being like, I feel like they've been doing this shit on purpose. And then now it seems more and more likely that, yeah, they do want a weak society. They want weak men. And I do see some hope, but it's not going to be for everybody. You know, there's going to be small groups of us that get it and are going to be able to live lives we want. And we're just going to have to kind of sit back and laugh at the suckers that they don't get
Your
it
wife
yet.
back in
Or
6 weeks or
refuse,
what?
you know, the guys that just plain out refuse.
John, Ryan, I'm afraid to
You're-
ask if you see anything optimistic.
No,
First, let's
it's
define
all-
optimistic.
Optimistic are people getting what they want. It's a subjective outcome, but you can tell if a guy's getting it or not. Here. Yes, everything's failing. Oh, feminists are failing you. Priests are failing you. No guys are helping other guys. I think this is a Band-Aid situation, and this is my good thing about it. I don't really talk about it much, but I've actually coached, mentored, and talked with a lot of guys. Probably the most guys here. I don't brag about it because it's not a fucking flex. If you've been in around for 7 years and you've been doing nothing but this, of course you're going to. Here's the point, though. I have watched individual guys find out that their wife's not on their team, their wife's family's not on their team, their priest's not on their team, their company's not on their team, nobody's on their team. And that's a good thing because that rips the Band-Aid off. There's nobody left but you. And once they find that out, well, then if nobody else is here but me, I better start treating this guy all right. He's the guy who wipes my ass every day. And you show guys, here, I know it's new territory. You've never seen it before. It's kind of scary because your whole life you've had somebody either telling you what to do or taking responsibility. Yeah, you're getting fucked over, but it feels good. But now, none of that is there. Here's a bunch of other guys that were in your situation. Here's the things they did to carve out their own little path through life, and here's how they ended up. They're happier for it. They're happy for it, but there's some, things here. This guy absolutely failed. And it gives guys a confidence to know that even though there's nobody out here but me that's looking out for me, I can handle it because these guys have handled it. This idiot can carve himself out a good life. This idiot can make himself some money. This idiot can get laid 3 days a week when he wants to. I will be just fine. And I find, like I said, how Jack said with the phoenix coming out of the ashes, and it's the part just chef's kiss. The whole world is burning out around you, but there's so much abundance of so many things around there. 8 billion people, 4 billion of them are women. Maybe 1 billion of them are hot, and 10 of them are in your area right now because the internet just sent me an ad saying that they're in my area and they're looking for me. Point is,
It's true.
the point is, it's
I
just
just
there.
told you I didn't want to know what you did with your dick. Come on.
Oh, what do I
Take
not
with
do
the
with my dick?
That's
Who?
the real question.
Who do you
What
know?
But
haven't
that's
I
the
done
benefit.
yet with this
Everybody
thing?
keeps talking about dad this and dad that. Like the Democrats are my dad, the Republicans are my dad, the feminists are my dad, my wife is my best friend. Like, none of that shit exists. And this is not a negative message because your best cheerleader, your best skilled employee, your best advocate is right there in front of you with a dick.
No
and all you
one
gotta do
loves
is
you.
throw it into
It's not a
something that's
negative
hot,
message.
push it around a bit. Yeah. No, it's freeing though. It's
It
basically
is freeing. It's reality.
The world is
yeah,
shit.
do you
No one
remember how
loves
we
you.
have? Yeah, do
All
you know
right,
how we
good
have
job. Get out.
delayed adolescence right now? People don't have to grow up, so they don't. They're playing, video games into my 40s. I'm not even getting a career. I'm in my 20s. Who cares?
Right.
Growing up. We're officially growing up, and that's when you realize you're the father of your own personal, household, your personal family, and you live life accordingly. And guys are finding it's easy. Dude, John made what, $2 million selling Gumroad courses? Like, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And a lot of guys are doing it. They may not be doing that specific thing, but they're doing a thing. Mm-hmm. You're writing books. I'm writing books. Jack's writing books. Jack's coaching things. John's
I'm
written
editing
2
a whole
books.
book series somehow.
Exactly. Paul's doing that. Jack's doing
something. I don't know what it's going to be out.
Infinite options, infinite abundance, and the only thing is missing is the wherewithal to go about doing it, and the I don't know what the word for it would be, but the ability to follow through and see it out to the end, even though it's like in uncertain times. Yeah, thank you. And that's great. So the more I hear about like institutions failing and fucking up, the happier it makes me. Trucker convoy, fucking awesome. Now the truckers realize that Ottawa's not going to help them out when they're bringing in cheap labor to ruin the trucking industry and kill the insurance for them. Great. Healthcare absolutely screwed over because of COVID. Great. Now people aren't looking at socialized medicine like it's the halcyon because they're watching the boomers right now. I have to wait 8 hours not to die. Let it all burn, because the more it burns, the more you realize you don't need any of it, and none of it's looking out for you.
Going
Just
back to the
magic.
fact that we ran out of ice cream and I cannot get a Hawaiian shirt, it therefore focuses on people
so
going
there's
out
a couple
and enjoying each other.
A few sacrifices need to be made. Clary's ultimate happiness is one of them, and I thank you, sir, for your sacrifice. I will buy this shirt. That's like a subpar Ryan shirt. That's fine. I will get subpar ice cream. That's not Sonic ice cream. That's fine. I will live in a subpar state. That's, it's not even the good Dakota. It's the southern one.
It's the better one.
Not even
the
good
better
Dakota.
one.
I don't know, man. Historically, doesn't things that come from the North in America usually win out in the end?
Oh,
That's a Civil War
One
joke.
time.
Yeah.
One time.
One time.
One time.
Just
So is that
polarized.
happy enough for you? Is that well-defined
Actually,
happiness
Ryan,
for
it
you?
is, because it has the acerbic, cryptic, it's a ministry song. Where you come from, it's gone. Where you thought you were going to, weren't never there. And where you are ain't no good unless you could get away from it. It focuses on the individual, and you're 100% correct. That the chaos and the bad stuff and the failing around you focuses.
Ministry's so
people on-
good. I don't think anybody knows how good they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those problems are all opt-in problems anyway. You kind of have to
Paul.
want in on them.
Yeah.
Paul, go ahead. Anything optimistic?
Well, someone says that they want optimism. My response is, don't be a pussy. So to a degree. All right.
Pussy's optimistic.
Pussy is optimistic. What do I mean though? All right. When people want optimism, they're usually looking outside of themselves, right? And this is kind of going along the lines of what Ryan's talking about here. They're looking for something outside of themselves to sort of lift them up and make things better. And that's looking in the wrong spot, because life is going to have a lot of things that are out there that there's going to be a lot of things that exceed your expectations and surprise you. There's going to be things that meet your expectations, and there's going to be things that don't meet your expectations. And those would be the bad things, right? There's going to be difficulties that and challenges you'll face, impossibilities. And then there's going to be, times where things are going to be easy and situations where things are going to come effortlessly. You can't control though the outside, but you can control yourself. And so if you take everything is good when you look at it, for the most part, you figure out a way, how can I make this shit sandwich, the best shit sandwich in the world, and maybe, not have to eat shit sandwiches anymore down the line, right? Like you figure out how to take any situation and say, how can I use this? So that's a question I tell people to ask themselves. Stop asking for things on the outside you can't control to be better. Just ask yourself, how can I use this? And so no matter how bad things get, how can I use this to my advantage, to my betterments, to my, to whatever it is that I want to have? Now everything's optimistic. Everything's good, because you're dealing with reality now. Instead of wishing things were different, you're just going to make things the best you can make them with whatever reality hands you. And I think there's nothing more optimistic than that. Having the ability to take anything that's thrown at me, no matter how bad, and I'm going to make it as best as I can. I'm the guy, if I'm on my deathbed and dying of a disease and I'm gone in 48 hours, I'm going to come up with the best jokes I can come up with for the people that are around me until I black out. That's the type of person I am. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how bad it is. Like, and this is like, learn this stuff in combat, like you're like, dude, we might not come out of this, and like, oh crap, so we're gonna miss lobster night. Oh, like whatever. It's like we're finding ways even to make jokes and shit when things are looking not so good. And it's a good quality, right? It's being able to take whatever it is, no matter how hopeless it is, and go, all right, we're not focusing on the hopelessness. We're focusing on what can I do with this? Well, how can I
Agency.
use this? Right. And that is when you understand how to do that and you've incorporated that in your life, man, which is a really simple thing to do. It doesn't take a Gumroad course to do it. Like everything changes, man. Everything changes for the better. That's why I'm in such a good mood all the time. That's why things are good. Like people look at me thinking, oh, he's always got a positive whatever message. It's not because everything out there is positive. It's just because I'm just figuring out how to use it and then and helping other guys figure out how to use whatever it is. That's it.
That was very nice. That was very optimistic, very cheery, very rosy.
We've come full circle.
All right,
how we started, Cappy. You and your ice cream.
My I'm just gonna, I'm going to tell you now my optimism here. I have, but it's going to be more vindictive. I am optimistic about this realm simply because I think at minimum it has eliminated confusion for those who seek it. And as thanks to Paul and you guys, we've kind of made the observation that there has been a transition of the people who never really wanted to put the work in the first place. They will now go from a blue pill operating system to one of red pill where they be taking advantage of grifters. But even their optimism, even though it might be a little bit dark and dour, I did some real quick calculations. Okay, fine, you're not going to go the blue pill route. Now you're going to get suckered by red pill grifters. But I estimate $1.5 trillion in the United States and this latest generation of marrying age people, less in divorce settlements. The marriage rate is going down. So whether you are going to work and improve yourself and actually put in the work, or you're just a lazy slacker looking for a new ideology to give you value in life, and you use that as the red pill is that, at least the old guard of feminism and blue pill ideology is being starved and people are no longer pursuing that. So we've gone from heroin to now we're just doing cocaine. It's still bad, but it is an improvement in the right direction.
I mean,
yes, Ryan, what shit now are you going to put on my parade, Ryan? What is it?
I was just thinking Hunter Biden masculinity.
But I'm gonna, and I will say, so I do think there is a general progress in knowing thyself. There is a counter argument to the traditional lie of blue pill ideology, but I'm gonna go really optimistic here. I am gonna forecast like 1,000 years from now, the work we've done, it's not gonna be a religion, but because men's sex drive is the most powerful force in the human world. And modern religion is becoming co-opted and it's for the afterlife. I think you're going to see the red pill in 10 centuries almost take on a religious like definition or aspect to it. Not that people are going to be building St. Paul's Cathedral and referencing Paul. There's going to be a statue of Ryan or St. Rolla or anything like that. But because this is addressing the number one thing of men's interest, and it is therefore much more practical than your modern day religious. So modern day religions will continue on and evolve, or I'd say degrade. But I'm going to be bold enough to say that 1,000 years from now, they're going to be talking about us, at least those of us on the original founding floor. The red pill grifters with their Greek helmets and their avatars of gorillas, though they're not going to, but I am that optimistic that I think we will have left a legacy and it will be for the good. And it will be very instrumental for billions of men going forward. How's that for optimism?
I just can't wait to be the subject of somebody's reason for genocide. You're a Cappy fan? Let's murder his family. Murder the whole town.
The Ryan Senate? Screw you guys. We're going to have to kill you. Let's get to the super chats remaining real quick. No more super chats, guys. JM, $5. What is your market? Hopeless guys or guys who don't need your help? Also, why compete for any pool of assets/comfort that has less and less value? I think we're not competing. Like, I'm not buying all that much. The market, I'd say, is guys who want to work at it. So not hopeless guys. And the guys who don't need there's a third category, and those are guys who have hope, but yet need our help. So I would presume that would be.
Yeah, guys who want to, but don't know how to.
Right. Taekwondo for €2. So Inceldom is stimulating online grift. Crazy. Yes. Imagine that. Farfick Nugan, $4.20. Jack Napier is losing his hair. That rhymes.
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
No, doesn't really rhyme.
Taekwondo books. Will John Fitch drink provide us an alpha key?
Key.
What's that?
Oh, you.
It's internal energy idea. Like,
okay.
How do you not know this, Mr. Optimist?
I'm not optimistic.
Get your chakras right.
One time I tried to step out of my comfort zone, and you guys kicked me in the nuts. Athamel deck you at $2.
It was good.
Trying to find goddamn what is Ryan? Tell us that. Nonstop trade $2. How does Cappy get the dogs and optimism?
Hey, clarify your thoughts. Fuck me, right? Yeah.
Did you know that only 2 kinds of guys wear Hawaiian shirts? Yeah, me and Ryan.
Charlie Sheen.
Magnum PI and the guy that was off of Jurassic Park, Newman.
Nonstop trade $2 and optimistic Cappy equals hot fat chick doesn't exist. Yeah, that's true. I'm never being optimistic again after this.
Good to see Dre again.
Oh no, Cap. Hey, no, dude, you're good.
No.
We're awesome. Things are great.
Listen,
I'm gonna get you a Sonic ice cream when I come down there, and I promise I'll call you back. Come on,
Macam,
turn that down under frown upside down.
Knowledge there. Cappy's books in the library. Damn it! Tell him that it's a racist, sexist book, so it gets out of the library. I don't want people getting my books for free at the library. I want people to pay for them.
Jesus.
True.
Who goes to the library anymore anyway, though, right?
Well,
don't libraries pay like 10 times the cost of the books, though, to get them in a library?
Do they?
Yeah, I've seen this through Amazon. You can add onto their librarian program, and they have to pay more for it with the idea that everybody gets a license to read.
I just...
Oh, but you didn't get the money.
I don't get the money. I don't want... Just go buy a book.
Optimistic Cappy. I want to help people. Cappy 2 seconds later.
Pay for my fucking book. I want to help people for a price. I don't do this for free. I want my fucking money.
I want to help people. My time is valuable.
Break those kneecaps.
Struggle to forge a real identity for yourself, and few will step forward to push you in that direction. While not idea, the red pill can help. Or ideal.
That's the thing. Like, we can step forward to push you. Like, you need to step forward yourself. Stop wanting people to push you in the right direction.
Right.
And I think that's it. All right, let's close out. Paul, let's tell everybody where you can find and whore out your shit. Paul.
Yeah, just go to apexmindset.net or Apex Mindset YouTube. The best thing you can do is just make sure you're subscribing to my stuff. YouTube just doesn't like me very much. I'm gonna end up opening up another channel at some point just because I am definitely shadow banned with the amount of views I get from my people who watch me versus my stuff getting pushed out by algorithms is it's just terrible. So help me out, do that. I have actually Pick Up for the Busy Man is a course that will be coming out soon, but I don't have an official announcement as to when that is yet. Probably the end of the month, I'll open up enrollment. And then at some point, I will open up my mastermind group for more people once I let this, get the guys I'm doing one-on-ones with and stuff settle down a little bit. So you get all that information, though, if you're on this on my YouTube channel. And that's
cool.
It.
Thanks, Paul. Ryan.
Yep.
Dude, just get on the channels. You know the Ryan Stone channel. That's great. To be fair, Fridays, the T-Rex Army. This time we had Dick Looper taking over from Roger Tomarso, fighting the undead zombie with the T-Rex army. Look, the sexual dynamics thing, it's not hard. Once you get it, go get entertained. It's way more fun after you've gotten laid than it is when you're in incel looking for some anime waifu fun. So just do it. That's all I got.
Pitch.
That's the worst pitch.
Go to johnfitch.net. Sign up for the newsletter. Tomorrow night, I have John Fitch Knows Nothing at 7 p.m. on the left coast. Jump on, watch. I'll be talking about the fights. The fights right now. Ricky Simon is about ready to get into the ring. Early morning fights this week. But I'll be talking about those, talk about other stuff. Check it out. You can see here my strength training program is available. Fitch Strength. Check it out on Gumroad. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and you do like if people fly out there, you'll train them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of hard to learn stuff online, especially fighting. So yeah, if you want to go learn to fight, you have that.
Well, I find that online I'm having more luck doing the fitness and strength training stuff online, and then I still travel to do seminars. So
Okay. So
because it's kind of difficult to teach technique.
learn to fight other people and defend yourself. Contact John Fitch.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you got going on? Do you do anything? Do you got
Yeah.
anything going on?
Every now and then I narrate stuff from some curmudgeon boomer who has books he writes and things like that. But I also
Troy Francis. Yeah.
No, the other one. I can't remember, like North Dakota something. I don't know where he lives. But yeah, I also did some. Yeah, I don't know where.
Wow.
Nobody cares. He complains about ice cream. But okay.
You know, all right, go ahead, Jack.
You want me to plug my shit? Thank you.
Yes.
Love you. But I do personal training, but all my spots are filled right now. So just go to my channel. The link is in the chat. And coming Tuesday, we're going to do a live stream about how to deadlift. So you probably don't want to miss that because deadlift is pretty much essential to every fitness and strength training schedule. So yeah, that's what we're going to do Tuesday, 4 p.m. CET Amsterdam. So get on my channel. And the link to a couple of audiobooks are in the chat as well. So.
And I am optimistic as fuck, Cappy. You can find me at assholeconsulting.com, and I have many books out there. The most flagshipy of them all would probably be Bachelor Pad Economics. Which one else do I want to promote? And then Curse of the High IQ. Yeah, everyone's pretty smart on these channels. Everyone go get Curse of the High IQ and find out why everyone else is a fucking moron. You got to deal with them.
That's a great book, by the way.
Yeah.
I endorse it. I like it.
Thank you, Paul. I thought it was one of the kind of outside
First
the norm.
introduction to you.
Really?
Yeah.
What was wrong with it? You're smarter than everybody else here.
No,
What
I
did
liked
you hate
it and
about
enjoy
it?
the decline.
Wait,
I didn't
no.
start disliking you until I met you. The books are great.
Same.
Wait, there's nothing
just
wrong
kidding.
with the book? What?
Look, Aaron, I like you. You're a good guy, and I like your books, and I read your books. You have a lot of them, so I haven't gotten through them all yet, but I've read the good ones. So the rest, I'm assuming, are just as good. Your shirts, I make fun of it because I'm somewhat jealous because you can find these shirts that I would never even think to look for, let alone wear in public with that courage you got going on. I envy you.
What? What's wrong with it? This doesn't take bravery to wear this shirt. This is a cool
Damn, what a
shirt.
backhanded
That's what I mean.
compliment.
Like, he's so brave, he doesn't even know. Fuck it. Let's do it.
There we go. Ryan Stone.
Art of the
I believe
neg.
they call that a neg.
Confident boost, right?
Dude.
God, thank God you don't have kids. You know how fucked up they'd be like, does dad like me or not? I have no idea.
Hey, man, that's how you get him to work hard. I need his love.
Anyway, that's it. We'll see you guys
Cheers,
later.
people.
Toodles.